Welcome to our general knowledge channel, Shine Tutorial. If you new visitor, please subscribe our channel and like this channel. If like this video, then share our channel to other. Computer Awareness MCQs for competitive exams. Computer Awareness for IBPS PO, IBPS Clerk, Bank PO, Bank Clerk, and other entrance competitive examinations. Welcome to Shine Tutorial gives you general knowledge. Question 1. Structured Query Language, SQL, is used in the following? A. Create databases. B. Create and modify databases. C. Create, modify and query databases. D. None of the above. Correct answer, C. Create, modify and query databases. Notes. Structured Query Language, SQL, is a standard computer language for relational database management and data manipulation. SQL is used to create, modify, and query databases. Question 2. NetBIOS was introduced in 1983 by which company as an improvement to the standard BIOS used by Windows-based computers? A. Dell. B. IBM. C. Compaq. D. Sitek Inc. Correct answer, D. Sitek Inc. Notes. Sitek Incorporated, which is now known as Hughes LAN Systems Incorporated, had created the NetBIOS protocol in 1983, later used by Microsoft to make its early networks. Question 3. What is the name of the digital circuit that performs arithmetic and logical operations in computers? A. Arithmetic logic unit. B. Digital comparator. C. Multiplexer. D. None of these. Correct answer, A. Arithmetic logic unit. Notes. An arithmetic logic unit, ALU, is the part of the circuit that performs arithmetic NUD logical operations. It is the part of a computer processor, CPU. In some processors, the ALU is divided into two units, an arithmetic unit, AU, and a logic unit, LU. Question 4. Which of the following key is not found in normal computers' laptops? A. Turn key. B. Alt key. C. Del key. D. Shift key. Correct answer, A. Turn key. Notes. Turn key is involving the provision of a complete product or service that is ready for immediate use. It is not found in normal computers. Question 5. Core banking solutions are developed to perform __. A. Recording of transactions. B. Passbook maintenance. C. Interest calculations. D. All of the above. Correct answer, D. All of the above. Notes. Core banking is a banking service provided by a group of networked bank branches as a single unit. It is where customers may access their bank account and perform basic transactions from any of the member branch offices. Question 6. ADSL data communications technology uses which of the following for faster data transmission? A. Voice band modem. B. Wireless modem. C. Copper telephone lines. D. Sockets. Correct answer, C. Copper telephone lines. Notes. Asymmetric digital subscriber line, ADSL, is a type of digital subscriber line, DSL, technology. It is a data communications technology that enables faster data transmission using copper telephone lines than a conventional voiceband modem can provide. Question 7. Which of the following blogging platform was first launched by Pyra Labs? A. WordPress. B. Blogger. C. Typepad. D. Twitter. Correct answer, B. Blogger. Notes. Blogger is the platform founded by Pyra Labs in 1999. Google acquired it in 2003. WordPress is a free and open-source content management system by WordPress Foundation. Twitter is an American microblogging and social networking service founded in 2006. Question 8. Which of the following is the system bus? A. Bus connecting keyboard and motherboard. B. Bus connecting CPU and memory. C. Bus connecting memory and monitor. D. Bus connecting hard disk and monitor. Correct answer B. Bus connecting CPU and memory. Notes: the bus connecting the CPU and memory is one of the defining characteristics of the system and is known as the system bus. Mostly the CPU and memory, they work synchronously. Question 9. Which of the following is not an input device of the computer? A. Trackball. B. Image scanner. C. Joystick. D. Sound card. Correct answer D. Sound card. Notes: a sound card is not an input device of the computer. A trackball is a pointing device which consists of a ball held by a socket. Question 10. How are registers measured? A. Number of programs. B. Number of bits. C. Number of occurrence. D. Number of reference points. Correct answer B. Number of bits. Notes: registers are normally measured by the number of bits they can hold, like an 8-bit register, a 32-bit register, etc. Question 11. EDVAC was one of the earliest electronic computers. What is its full form? A. Electronic Diverse Variable Automatic Computer. B. Electronic Digital Variable Automatic Computer. C. Electronic Data Variable Automatic Computer. D. Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. Correct answer D. Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer. Notes: EDVAC or Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer was one of the earliest electronic computers. It was binary and a stored program computer. Question 12. Where are the instructions which are used to run a digital computer stored? A. Motherboard. B. Hard disk. C. Memory. D. All of the above. Correct answer C. Memory. Notes: the digital computer works by counting, comparing and manipulating various digits and their combinations as per the instructions which are stored in the memory. Question 13. Which of the following is generally marketed as a companion device? A. Laptop. B. Desktop. C. Netbook. D. UMPC. Correct answer C. Netbook. Notes: a netbook is also called a mini notebook, as it is a small, lightweight, and inexpensive laptop often marketed as a companion device. It is suited for general computing tasks and other web-based applications. Question 14. Which of the following computer component allows you to connect to the internet? A. Soundboard. B. ROM. C. Hard drive. D. Modem. Correct answer D. Modem. Notes: a modem is a hardware device that converts data between transmission media so that it can be transmitted from computer to computer. Computer information is stored digitally, whereas information transmitted over telephone lines is transmitted in the form of analog waves. Question 15. What is the job of the motherboard? A. Sends power to all the components. B. Holds all the circuits and components together. C. Displays information. D. Tells the computer what to do. Correct answer B. holds all the circuits and components together. Notes: a motherboard is the circuit board found in general-purpose microcomputers. It holds and allows communication between many of the crucial electronic components of a system, such as the central processing unit and memory, and provides connectors for other peripherals. Question 16. What is the full form of ALU? A. Arithmetic Logic Unit. B. Algebra Logic Unit. C. Arithmetic Logical Unit. D. None of the above. Correct answer A. Arithmetic Logic Unit. Notes: the arithmetic and logic unit (ALU) of a computer system is the place where the actual execution of the instructions take place during the processing operations. Question 17. The system unit of a personal computer typically contains which of the following? A. Microprocessor. B. Disk controller. C. Serial interface. D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. Notes: the system unit, also known as a tower, is the main part of a desktop computer. It includes the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and other components. A CPU is only a small part of a system unit. Question 18. Which of the following is the ability of a system to jump directly to the requested data? A. Sequential access. B. Random access. C. Quick access. D. All of the above. Correct answer B. Random access. Notes: random access memory is a form of computer data storage that stores data and machine code currently being used. A random access memory device allows data items to be read or written in almost the same amount of time irrespective of the physical location of data inside the memory. Question 19. Which of the following limit range of data rates AID cable supports? A. From 4 megabytes per second to 16.6 megabytes per second. B. From 2 megabytes per second to 12 megabytes per second. C. From 2 megabytes per second to 11 megabytes per second. D. From 5 megabytes per second to 14 megabits per second. Correct answer A. From 4 megabytes per second to 16.6 megabytes per second. Notes: AID was developed by Western Digital and an interface used on IBM-compatible computers. AID supports data rates from 4 and 16.6 megabytes per second. Question 20. Which of the following Microsoft applications is used to create a budget? A. Microsoft Excel. B. Microsoft Access. C. Microsoft PowerPoint. D. Microsoft Word. Correct answer A. Microsoft Excel. Notes: Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet developed by Microsoft. It features calculation, graphing tools, pivot tables, and a macro programming language called Visual Basic for applications. Question 21. Which of the following is true regarding the process of sharding? A. Sharding is a technique for partitioning data. B. It is a horizontal partition of data within a database. C. Both A and B. D. It is a relational database locking method. Correct answer C. Both A and B. Notes: sharding is a type of database partitioning that separates very large databases into smaller, faster, more easily managed parts called data shards. The word shard means a small part of a whole. Question 22. Which of the following LAN technologies uses a token bus scheme? A. NetWave. B. Interface. C. ARPANET. D. Ethernet. Correct answer C. ARPANET. Notes: ARPANET is a LAN technology that uses a token-based scheme for managing line sharing among the workstations and other devices connected on the LAN. ArcNet is one of 4 major LAN technologies, which also include Ethernet, Token Ring and FDDI. Question 23. What is the full form of HIDS? A. Host-based intrusion detection system. B. Housing intruder detection system. C. Host and device server. D. None of the above. Correct answer A. Host-based intrusion detection system. Notes: a host-based intrusion detection system is an intrusion detection system that is capable of monitoring and analyzing the internals of a computing system as well as the network packets on its network interfaces. Question 24. Which of the following is used to connect computers and other end-user devices to networking devices such as hubs and switches? A. Router. B. Straight-through cable. C. Patch cable. D. Both B and C. Correct answer D. Both B and C. Notes: straight-through cable is also referred to as a patch cable. Straight-through cable is used to connect computers and other end-user devices to networking devices such as hubs and switches. Question 25. Which one of the following sends data packets to all devices on a network regardless of any MAC addresses? A. Host server. B. Switch. C. Hub. D. Central server. Correct answer C. Hub. Notes: a hub is a hardware device that relays communication data. A hub sends data packets to all devices on a network. The hub allows system administrators to monitor data passing through and to configure each port. Question 26. What are the other names for a network interface card? A. LAN adapter. B. Network adapter. C. Network card. D. All of the above. Correct answer D. All of the above. Notes: a network interface card is circuit board or a card that allows computers to communicate over a network via cables or wirelessly. Every network adapter is assigned a unique 48-bit media access control address, which is stored in ROM to identify themselves in a network. Question 27. What is the maximum amount of data that a channel can transmit called as? A. Jitter rate. B. Throughput. C. Bandwidth. D. None of the above. Correct answer C. Bandwidth. Notes: the term bandwidth refers to the maximum amount of data that a channel can transmit. For example, if the bandwidth of a fast Ethernet network is a maximum of 100 megabits per second, then this network can send 100 megabits per second or less depending on various factors. Question 28. Which of the following transmission medium has categories named as RG58, RG59 and RG11? A. Coaxial cables. B. Twisted pair cables. C. Fiber optics. D. None. Correct answer A. Coaxial cables. Notes: there are 3 categories of coax cables, namely RG59, cable TV, RG58, thin Ethernet, and RG11, thick Ethernet. RG stands for Radio Government. Question 29. Which of the following cables work on the properties of light? A. Coaxial cables. B. Twisted pair. C. Fiber optics. D. None. Correct answer C. Fiber optics. Notes: fiber optic works on the properties of light. When light ray hits at critical angle, it tends to refract at 90 degree. This property is the basis of fiber optics. Question 30. Which of these standards is defined by IEEE 802.3 up? A. Megabit Ethernet over copper wiring. B. Gigabit Ethernet over fiber optics. C. Gigabit Ethernet over copper wiring. D. Fast Ethernet. Correct answer C. Gigabit Ethernet over copper wiring. Notes: IEEE 802.3 UB, which is also known as 1000 base T, is a standard for gigabit Ethernet over copper wiring. Question 31. Which of these is not correct about Trivial File Transfer Protocol? A. It is safer than FTP. B. It does not offer directory navigation. C. It uses UDP to transfer the files. D. All of the above. Correct answer A. It is safer than FTP. Notes: TFTP does not have the security capability or the level of functionality that FTP has. TFTP does not offer is directory navigation. TFTP uses UDP to transfer the files. Question 32. Which was the final version of Internet Explorer before it got discontinued? A. 9. B. 10. C. 11. D. 12. Correct answer C. 11. Notes: Microsoft Internet Explorer version 11 was the 11th and final version of the browser. It was officially released in 2013 for Windows 8.1. Question 33. Which of these is a server-side scripting language? A. HTML. B. JavaScript. C. PHP. D. CSS. Correct answer C. PHP. Notes: PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. It is a programming language primarily designed for web development to create dynamic web pages. Question 34. Which was the first built-in camera phone by Nokia? A. Nokia 5800. B. Nokia 7250. C. Nokia 6600. D. Nokia 7650. Correct answer D. Nokia 7650. Notes: the Nokia 7650 was the first Nokia phone with a built-in camera, and thus its imaging capabilities was widely marketed. It was introduced in 2001. Question 35. Which of these folders in Windows is used by browsers to cache web pages? A. Recycle bin. B. Pictures. C. Temporary internet files. D. Documents. Correct answer C. Temporary internet files. Notes: Temporary internet files is a Microsoft Windows folder which contains web page content that is stored on your hard disk. Web browsers like Chrome, Edge, etc. uses this folder to cache pages and other multimedia content from visited websites. Question 36. When was MS Excel launched for Windows OS? A. 1986. B. 1985. C. 1987. D. 1988. Correct answer C. 1987. Notes: Microsoft released the first version of Excel for the Mac OS in 1985 and the first Windows version in November 1987. It is a spreadsheet editor. Question 37. Which of these MS Office products is primarily used for note-taking? A. PowerNote. B. Access. C. Visio. D. OneNote. Correct answer D. OneNote. Notes: MS OneNote is a note-taking program that gathers handwritten or typed notes, drawings, screen clippings, and audio commentaries. With this software, notes can be shared with other users over the internet. Question 38. Which of these Microsoft Office apps can be used for conferences and meetings in real time? A. MS PowerPoint. B. MS Excel. C. Skype for Business. D. MS Project. Correct answer C. Skype for Business. Notes: Skype for Business is an integrated communications client for conferences and meetings in real time. It is the only Microsoft Office desktop app that does not have the Microsoft prefix in its name. Question 39. What is the maximum font size available in MS Word from the drop-down list? A. 36. B. 84. C. 72. D. 110. Correct answer C. 72. Notes: The maximum font size available in MS Word from the drop-down list is 72. However, a greater size value for a font can be added manually. Question 40. Which menu option in MS Word contains the ruler option? A. Insert menu. B. View menu. C. Edit menu. D. File menu. Correct answer B. View menu. Notes: Ruler option is available under View menu. To see the rulers, choose View and select the ruler checkbox. Question 41. Which of the following feature is not available in MS Word? A. Mail merge. B. Tables. C. PHP coding. D. WYSIWYG editing. Correct answer C. PHP coding. Notes: PHP coding is not supported in MS Word. It is a word processing software and cannot decode programming languages like PHP. Question 42. Which MS Access feature is used to copy a controls formatting? A. Format Painter. B. Format Manager. C. Autotype. D. None of the above. Correct answer A. Format Painter. Notes: The Format Painter tool of MS Access is used to apply exactly the same formatting to several controls repeatedly. Question 43. What does SMS stand for? A. Short Message Service. B. SIM Mobile Service. C. Short Mobile SIM. D. Safe Messaging Service. Correct answer A. Short Message Service. Notes: SMS, Short Message Service, is a text messaging service component of most telephone, internet, and mobile device systems. Question 44. What happens usually when we delete an email? A. It is moved to the trash folder. B. It gets permanently deleted. C. It is moved to the outbox. D. It keeps a copy in the inbox. Correct answer A. It is moved to the trash folder. Notes: In almost all email programs, deleting an email message actually means moving it to a special folder, typically called trash or deleted items. Question 45. What are the viruses that rewrite themselves completely each time they are to infect new executables, known as? A. Metamorphic virus. B. Polymorphic virus. C. Macrovirus. D. None of the above. Correct answer A. Metamorphic virus. Notes: To avoid being detected by emulation, some viruses rewrite themselves completely each time they are to infect new executables. Viruses that utilize this technique are said to be in metamorphic code. Question 46. What is the difference between IMSS and NEFT? A. IMSS is managed by RBI whereas NEFT is managed by NPCI. B. IMSS is available 24*7 whereas NEFT is available during NEFT business hours. C. NEFT is a real-time transfer system whereas IMS is not. D. None of the above. Correct answer B. IMS is available 24/7 whereas NEFT is available during NEFT business hours. Notes: IMS is managed by NPCI whereas NEFT is managed by RBI. IMS is available 24/7 whereas NEFT is available during NEFT business hours. IMS is a real-time transfer system whereas NEFT is not. Question 47. What is the code devised to access mobile banking without internet connection via the USSD? A. *1 to 3 pound. B. *99#. C. *111 pound. D. *100 pound. Correct answer B. *99#. Notes: Unstructured Supplementary Service Data (USSD) allows users without a smartphone or data internet connection to use mobile banking through the *99# code. USSD-based mobile banking can be used for fund transfers, checking account balance, generating bank statement, among other uses. The main objective of the innovative *99# payments service is to allow financial inclusion of the underbanked and economically weaker sections of the society and integrate them into mainstream banking. The *99# service is also known as National Unified USSD Platform, NUA. Question 48. Which of the following is not a feature of cloud computing services? A. Easy expandability and scalability. B. One-time fixed payment. C. Faster product development. D. Optimization of capital investments. Correct answer B. One-time fixed payment. Notes: Cloud computing is an on-demand delivery of compute, storage, applications, and other IT infrastructure with metered payment based on usage. Banks can scale and employ resources as needed and pay for what is used without large upfront capital investments. Thus, payments as per use is the key and basic feature of cloud computing. The fundamental difference between CC and traditional IT is that in the cloud model, banks pay only for the resources consumed instead of investing heavily on data centers and servers before using them. Question 49. Which of the following is not a cloud computing service provider? A. Amazon Web Services, AWS. B. Microsoft Azure. C. IBM. D. Intel. Correct answer D. Intel. Notes: Intel itself is not a good service provider. However, Intel powers cloud services with compatible processors, networking components, and solid-state drives, along with its rich portfolio of enabling technologies and solutions. Question 50. Cloud bursting is related to which of the following in cloud computing? A. Scalability. B. Redundancy. C. Availability. D. None of these. Correct answer A. Scalability. Notes: Cloud bursting is a model in which application running in a private cloud bursts, scales automatically into a public community cloud based on the scalability needs. Thanks for watching this video. Shine Tutorial. Education for all. If you are new user, please subscribe the channel. You get time to time new videos.